Hey guys, welcome back to more competitive ADV. We've got Pokemon Perfect content here today, and this is a pretty good one. This is a quarterfinal match in our Pokemon Perfect qualifying tournament for ADV between HyogaFodex and Astamatitos. And actually, after this, I'm going to be doing another match from that same exact thing, from the quarterfinals of this tour, because honestly, the top 8 in this tour is stacked, and I could really, I'm not going to because I'm lazy and I don't have all that much time, but I could narrate all the games, all 4 sets, because it's loaded. Just the player quality in this is really, really high. No matter what, you can't go too far wrong. But I feel like I haven't had Asta on the channel in quite a while. Probably not since Kalos Invitational. And you know what? HyogaFodex, even though he's well known and I've known him for a while, and he's been around, he's in my channel, blah blah blah. I don't know if he's actually ever been on my YouTube channel, so it is about high time that he makes his debut. This is a tough pairing. Nobody wants to play against Asta, but Hyoga's very capable. That's what I was trying to say there. And we'll see how he does. It is a best of 3, and this is game 1. So HyogaFodex on the bottom, Asta on the top, lead T-Tower against lead Celebi. It's going to result in a Coon and a Skarm here. Interesting that the Celebi switched out as opposed to Baton passed out, because usually a lead Celebi, if it's leading, it has BP to either Magneton, Dugtrio, both, maybe Salamence for Intimidate, but it's an unusual thing to have a Celebi lead but then not Baton pass out, and there's even more merit to do it against the T-Tower because you avoid Pursuit, and in general, you want a Baton Pass anyway, because it lets you react to your opponent's switch as opposed to switching at the same time that they do and not getting the benefit of the additional information. So it's strange to me that he did that, and it pretty much universally to me means that he doesn't have it. Asta there for sure would have BP. There's just no reason not to other than, I guess, hiding it, which, hey, it's a convincing argument, right? If he does actually have it, he's got me convinced that he doesn't, and perhaps he's got Hyoga convinced that he doesn't. So maybe later in the game he could blow him out if he does have it. Asta is known for his mind games in-game and his extreme self-discipline, so I guess with him you never really know. Moving on to this situation, it's interesting. So Hydro Pump and Rest are not usually seen on Coon at the same time. They're both good moves, but it's one or the other. And we actually see the full set now. This is really unusual. So we've got ourselves a Crocoon, but it's actually Hydro Pump instead of Surf, which the one big merit here, other than just the obvious additional power, is that Sleep Talk does not consume PP of the move that it uses. So one of the biggest drawbacks of Hydro Pump is that it only has the 8 PP, which gets depleted really quickly, especially against pressure Pokemon. But with Sleep Talk, you get that many more Hydro Pumps, and the move gets so much more longevity. So in that way, I guess it makes sense. Now, granted, Hydro Pump, of course, the big drawback, other than the low PP, is the not-so-great accuracy. So I don't know that I love that set, but I guess it makes sense on this team. We obviously have some kind of offensive, combine, spammy kind of team here for Asta. That's the only kind of team that Raikou is ever on. That poke has largely disappeared from the metagame, but Asta's got it here today. We've got Spike Slayer number 3 coming down for Hyoga. Not afraid of this Metagross, obviously. He could have just blown it out there, but he didn't. We've seen the phasing moves, so we do not have either Drill Peck or Toxic, or I guess Taunt, that the last move could be for the Skarm. And Magneton comes in here. I think he was trying to switch into the Metagross and trap it while it was on Meteor Mash. Maybe get some damage that way, but he finds himself against Celebi instead. They trade a Toxic and a Leech Seed, both of which connect through their imperfect accuracies. I don't know that, Magneton's going to switch. I don't know what Asta's going to do here. He's going to switch too. He goes Dugtrio, trying to trap either the Mag or something that might be coming in. And he traps the T-Tower, but T-Tower's at 100%, so unless he's adamant here, oh yeah, that's going to come up well short. 85% is a huge chunk, but it's not a knockout, and there's the counter-attack hidden power, HP Bug, which, if Celebi's coming in here to a T-Tower just use HP Bug, clearly he's representing that he has a Grass attack. Okay, I was going to say HP Grass, but Giga Drain works just as well. Down goes the T-Tower, and we've got ourselves a 5-5, and they're unrevealed still on both sides. Skarm comes into Celebi here. Is he just coming in to phase it out? Is that the whole play? That just doesn't seem that exciting when you're going to get leech seeded. Did he not have a better follow-up into the Celebi there? The Skarm play just seems really underwhelming to me. He does get the benefit of blowing out the last poke, so he now has full information as far as what the team is. Porygon 2 makes a lot of sense. Celebi, Raikou, and Metagross are all things that don't really like Dugtrio, so once one of them gets revenge killed by Dugtrio, Porygon 2 will take care of the Dugtrio, so the other two things cannot be. Whether or not Hyoga has a Dugtrio, I mean, it certainly doesn't look like it, so we'll see what his last poke ends up being. I mean, I think just like a Gengar or a Claydol, something like that would make a lot of sense for Hyoga's last poke. He gets a Surf off here on the incoming Raikou. Raikou is pretty low between the Surf and the Spikes, but he will nevertheless scare the Coon off here. Not sure what he thinks he's going to accomplish against Blissey, but it might just be one of those situations where you do more than nothing with Raikou now, or never. And I guess it's looking like never. He's going to pull it back here, so the only thing that Raikou is going to be good for is fodder. It'll die to Spikes the next time it comes in, and that's just about all it's going to be doing this game. Skarm comes in on the Explosion. Good prediction for Hyoga, not losing a more valuable Pokemon to the obvious boom there. And now we've got Porygon 2. It's going to trace Magnet Pull, so Magneton is trapped here. Porygon 2 is not, but Magneton cannot switch. Magnet Pull is not Arena Trap. It only traps Steel types. Porygon 2 is not a Steel type, even though they both have the ability, so he can switch. Magneton cannot. Whether or not Porygon can actually win this matchup is an entirely different matter, and it very much looks like no. He's only doing 22% with Ice Beam, taking way more from Thunderbolt on the way back, and he's poisoned, so down goes Porygon 2. Asta on the ropes here. Remember, Raikou is dead on arrival when it comes in, so it's really just the Celebi and the Coon here against the 4 pokes for Hyoga. Hidden Power comes down from Celebi. That would explain the Giga Drain. That is probably HP Fire. It could be HP Ice. There's Leech Seed on Bliss, and there's the Ice Beam to kill the Celebi anyway. So Asta here is going down to last poke Coon. He fodders off Raikou right here, right now, goes down to last poke Coon, and sees this as his only way to win. We know the full set here. It is a Crow Coon with Hydro Pump. You can't see it on the screen, unfortunately. I don't know why it cuts off like that. But it's Hydro Pump, Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep, Talk. And yeah, I mean, that actually looks like it has a reasonable chance to win here. I'm unclear as to why Hyoga goes to his own Coon. Is his play, is he that desperate? Is he going to set up with it? Are they just both going to go to +6 and see what happens? Neither one can phase the other. Astas doesn't have Roar, and Hyoga, if he does have Roar, can't use it when there's only one poke remaining, which is the Coon itself. So I think that's what we're doing here. I think we're getting into a pissing contest and both calm-minding up and seeing what happens. Asta is not down for that plan. He goes straight for the Hydro Pump. It's going to cost him 2 PP in the process, but it's going to kill the other Coon, crucially. And this seems like a wonderful opportunity for Magneton to have come in, but Hyoga does not agree with that. He thinks Blissey is going to be the better option. I don't know. I mean, the Toxic here, what's the point of that? That doesn't accomplish anything. That's more or less exactly what Asta would want you to do. All that's going to do is let him calm mind up a time or two, go for the rest, and be fine and dandy. No meaningful pressure here whatsoever. If this is the best that Hyoga can come up with, he might be in trouble. I wonder about a couple of these plays. When he went to his own Coon, did he not have rest? He should have just gone for it, kept himself safe if he did. And then I don't know why Blissey came in. Blissey has no chance of beating this Coon. I guess she's going to try to PP stall him out, but Coon obviously is going to rest here, and does. And Blissey, Toxic is useless against this Coon. Ice Beam pending a freeze is useless against this Coon. And Seismic Toss is never going to beat it. So, I mean, this just seems unwinnable for the Blissey. I have no idea what the plan is here. I guess trying to PP stall him out, but that doesn't even seem like a great plan, because Asta can just rest and stop using PP in the meantime, and then that becomes a mind game for Hyoga, where if Asta just goes nope, 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 and then randomly on one of the turns uses Sleep Talk and kills something with Hydro Pump, That's pretty bad for Hyoga too. Now granted, there is only a 1 in 3 chance of finding Hydro Pump on any given Sleep Talk turn, and it also can simply miss with its 80-20 accuracy, but it is a dangerous thing that Hyoga has to consider. I don't understand what Hyoga is doing though. I do not see the resolution to this. Is he going for the PP stall? Let's see here for Asta. So he's got 6 out of 8 Hydro Pumps, 26 Calm Minds, 13 Rests, and it cuts off for me too, actually, but I think that says 10 Sleep Talks. So assuming that that counter is right, he's got over 50 PP left worth of moves, plenty of which is attacking PP, and he can just rest and not use PP at all while he's sleeping. Now granted, in the meantime, Blissey has a lot of PP as well. 14 Toxic, 28 S-Toss, 12 Ice Beams, 13 Soft Boiled, also over 50. In fact, it looks closer to 60 just based on quick math. So, I mean, is it conceivable? Well, I guess not, because Hydro Pump there is just going to kill the Bliss from 71%. That is certainly one of the arguments as to why Hydro Pump is better than Surf, because a Surf Coon here might not have punched through. Hydro Pump can force its way through because it's doing 71% of whack to Bliss, so she is not negating the Hydro Pump damage with the Soft Boiled. Now granted, it's RNG reliant because, again, Hydro Pump only has so many PP. After a while, Coon, in order to not lose all his Hydro Pump PP, has to go for rest and then start fishing for Sleep Talk Hydro Pumps, which is much, much easier for Bliss to deal with. So maybe there is a shot there for Hyoga. I don't know that he was dead to rights. I also don't know that I love the way that he played this. He could have done the Blissey thing after the fact. He could have gone to Magneton first, tried to get a Thunderbolt crit, tried to get something like that, put pressure on the Coon, make it more difficult for it to set up, force it to use more PP. I think maybe Blissey didn't need to come down immediately and just go for this plan right out the gate. Maybe it was a better backup plan than a primary plan. But nevertheless, he gave it a shot. It maybe could have worked, but it didn't. And Asta is going to take Game 1 off of HyogaFodex. It is a best of 3. Hyoga very capable of making the comeback. We're going to see if he does in the next game. But in the meantime, thumbs up if you liked this game, and I'll see you guys there.